Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mofo's Lessons with your favorite girl, your favorite Pisces. So today we are wrapping up our discussion on finances because January is almost over. And something that I really wanted to talk about and really wanted to end this month on is actually, you know what? I'm going to give you a hint. So, what did Jay-Z say was more important than throwing money in a strip club? Credit. Credit. Yes, credit is so important. Credit is basically the number that determines how much lenders are going to give you, how much interest you're going to pay back, and what you can get, like how much, whatever it is. So, like, let's say, for example, if you want a car, what type of car you can get, how much money, student loans, how much aid you can get, a mortgage or an apartment, all that stuff is based on your credit score. So when you take out money, when you borrow money, so whether that be a credit card, a car loan, student loans, a mortgage, whatever, all those numbers and all your payments, how much money you've put down, all that is reported to 3 credit bureaus. There's TransUnion, there's Equifax, and there's Experian. So right now you can literally go to all 3 of those websites and download your free credit score. You'll see everything that's on your credit. It'll have your name, your address, it'll have your phone number, where you worked, it'll have what's on your credit. So like if you've taken out $30,000 in student loans, or you've missed 5 payments on a car loan, all that will be on your credit score and on your credit report. And when people talk about cleaning your credit and fixing your credit, usually they are writing dispute letters to those 3 credit bureaus in the hopes that, the credit bureaus aren't paying attention and will get that stuff removed from your credit. But instead of paying for somebody to do all that for you, you can literally just Google how to write a credit dispute letter and then get an envelope and write the address and send the dispute off. And they have 30 days to respond. So in all of my years, I've disputed almost everything on my credit, and I've only gotten like 1 or 2 things removed. So it's not often that they remove stuff, especially if you really do owe on those accounts. For me, what has affected my credit? Sometimes like my credit is high, sometimes my credit is low. But the main thing that I have done with my credit is I've missed payments. So during the pandemic, Wells Fargo was having this like little thing where you didn't have to pay on your credit card. And I guess I didn't really know the date when that was supposed to end. So I stopped paying on my credit card, and they ended up closing the account, and all those missed payments were on my credit. So what I did was, I called Wells Fargo and I negotiated a settlement. So let's say I owed like $2,000 and I negotiated, and now I only have to pay $1,000. And then once that $1,000 paid off, like my credit score boosts. Or another way that I boost my credit score is I stay below 50% of my credit card utilization. So what that means is if I have a $1,000 credit card, I don't really spend more than $500 per month. And I also pay off my credit card before my statement due date, so that like the credit bureaus can see that I'm paying off my credit every month, and that boosts also my credit score. You never want to just make your minimum payment. The minimum payment is literally there so that if there's a time that you're ever completely broke, and you can just pay this little amount on your credit card and that's it. But you want to always pay your credit card off every single month before your statement date. I also have taken out like student loans. So right now, because Joe Biden has that all on pause, my student loans aren't affecting my debt to income ratio. So I'm hoping this year I can like buy a house and get a mortgage, because those student loans are on pause, and it's like I'm making a good amount of money, and I've like been at my job almost 2 years, so we'll see. Hopefully, like he'll keep them pushed back or he'll cancel them, but we just don't know what to do with those loans. Another way credit has affected me is when I was in college, I bought a car, right? And my credit score was like maybe like a 650 at the time, 640, 660, something around that time, that area. But I still had to have a cosigner. So my brother co-signed with me because his credit was great, and I ended up putting like $3,000 down on the car. It was like a $7,000 or $8,000 car, and I went through a credit union to get my car loan, and my interest rate was like 19%. Like, that is crazy. You want your interest rates to be between like 0 and like 10% max. So like that interest rate on that loan basically determines how much money you have to pay when your like car loan is all finished. So if I have to pay, $8,000 and I'm paying 20% on $8,000, what's that? 10%. That's like an extra what, 1,600? Is that right? I think that might be right. I don't know. I'm not a math whiz. So I end up paying like 9,600 for my car versus if my interest rates were low. But like with that cosigner, I was able to get my car payments to like 150 a month. So that way, like me, I like to keep my bills under a certain amount each month because something can happen. Like you can get injured, somebody could die, you could have just so many emergencies where you can't work. So you need to have your bills kind of low. That way, it's like you can have a couple of months off and like your whole life isn't in shambles because you can't pay your bills. You're not getting evicted, your car's not getting repoed, your lights aren't off, your cables or your internet is not off. So always strive to keep like your bills low. Never take out more debt than you can afford. And that is especially for my people in college, because you guys spending 40 grand your freshman year is just crazy. Like, what school? Like, you're like you're going. I mean, I guess if you're going to like Harvard or like MIT, but if you're going to your like local state college or your local private school, like it is just crazy for you to be taking out $100,000 in loans. Like, like that money is going to always be there affecting your debt to income ratio. It always is. So just make sure you don't take out anything crazy. But all debt is not bad debt. Like if you know how to like work your debt and pay off your debt and you can afford your debt, then debt isn't so bad, because credit card bureaus want to see that you're using your credit, So it's good to have car loans. It's good to, be using your credit card every month. Like you want to be doing those things. You just don't want to be irresponsible. That's the word. You don't want to be irresponsible with your credit. What else can I tell you about credit? Basically, never think that like just because your credit is low right now doesn't mean that you can't get it up. Like I told you guys, like my credit card, I was missing payments, so I had to take out like one of those cards. Like it's like a prepaid card. So basically, like you have to take your own money. So let's say I took $1,000 and I put it on this Open Sky or Capital One or whatever Visa credit card, and I give them $1,000 and I spend, and I basically, that's what my limit is, that $1,000. Even though it's $1,000 of my money, that's what it is. And usually, like if you do good for like a year with that like prepaid card, then they'll actually give you credit after that. Like, so if I start off with $1,000 and they see I've done good with my $1,000, they'll give me like $3,000, if I'm doing good. But that is a good way to like boost your credit if you can't get a credit card. And if you can get a credit card, but your interest rate is like 20%, like just wait until your credit is being fixed, because you don't want a credit card with 20% interest. Like having to pay that interest off is crazy. And if you pay off like your credit card every month before your statement date, you don't have to pay interest, right? So that's the idea, just to spend money, and then pay it off. Spend money, and pay it off. Yeah, so don't feel discouraged if your credit right now, I mean, I've seen some people's credit be like 400, 300, and you shouldn't be embarrassed, but you should do your research on how to bring your credit up, because it is important. And I've been turned down from apartment complexes. I've been turned down from loans. Oh, and also, this is something that I had no clue about, and it screwed me over, and I will never forgive these people for screwing me over for this. But when I was looking for a car, they were running my credit. I was allowing them to run. I was authorizing them to run my credit. I let them do 5 hard inquiries. Can you imagine? Your hard inquiries, your credit runs, your credit checks, all those affect your credit score. So when you're going to the mall and they're like, oh, do you want to see if you can get approved for this credit card? They're running your credit. For a car loan, oh, we want to see if you can get approved, and you're not sure that this is the car. You make sure you try to get pre-approved for stuff first, and ask them, are you running a hard inquiry or are you running a soft inquiry? If they're running a soft inquiry, they're not affecting your credit. But if they're running a hard one, that affects your credit. So those hard inquiries are still on my credit. I think they'll get off like next year, because everything stays on your credit for like 6 or 7 years. But yes, that affects your credit. So I hope this month all these financial tips were helpful for you guys, and get in your freaking bag. Like, we're not being broke. Like, we're in our bag this year. It's 2023, and PPP, EDD, SBA, that time is gone. So if you're one of those people that got all that chicken and now you don't have nothing to show for it in 2023, you need to be listening to these tips, because I will say, like, it is crazy when the money is accumulating in your accounts and it's like you're accumulating all this wealth and your money is good and you can kind of move the way you want to move. Like, it's just a certain level of financial freedom that I have, and I just want to share it with you guys. So I hope you liked January financial month. In February, the topic is going to be relationships, and I think it's about time that I start bringing some guests on to talk to you guys about some things, and I'm excited to share, some people that are important to me in my life with you all. So I'm excited. Make sure you guys stay tuned for February, Valentine's Day month, love. Yes. So we'll be talking about all that next month. And thank you guys for always sticking with me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want any advice, feel free to DM me. You can comment on any of these videos. Mofo Films 1 on all my social media platforms. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.